So first, let's start with the big three. The first thing is the ULA circuit. That's my pack. I've only tried it a couple times, but it's worked out, and it's a good rugged pack. And if for any reason it doesn't work out, I'm going to swap it out for an 2017 model Exos 58 by Osprey, which I know will work. But this is a good pack, and I want to give it a shot. Okay, and so that's the pack. Attached to it, of course, I have a Z-Packs shoulder bag there for my water, and then I always carry a Snapple liter bottle with me. Okay, as far as the shelter, we have a piece of Tyvek for the ground cloth, and I have a 6 Moon Designs Lunar Solo. Okay, so that is a nice, fairly roomy tent, and it works great. Okay, as far as my sleeping bag, I use the Evolution, the Enlightened Equipment Enigma. Been loving this. This is a 20-degree quilt in wide because I like to toss and turn a bit. When it comes to our southern portion of the trip and it gets into middle of October or even the beginning of October, I'm going to swap it out for a 0-degree bag that's in long and wide. Okay, and this is about 20 ounces, so it's very, very lightweight. As far as my pad, I like to use the Thermarest X-Therm. Okay, these are the pads that are really very warm. They have a high R value, and I've been loving them, and I love the texture. It has a nubby texture on it, so you don't it's not all slippery. And I also have the wide version that is 25 inches because I find that so much more comfortable, even though it's only another couple ounces. So that's about 17 ounces. Okay, over here I have just a bag with my reading stuff, and in there is going to be some maps, perhaps a small notebook, a pen, some the AWOL's guide, which I've torn in various sections, in which I'll either throw away or mail back, and a couple crossword puzzles from the New York Times to pass the time. Okay, here we have the sit pad, Thermarest's little Z seat, and that's just for putting at the front of your tent, and also for sitting on, if you want to sit on rocks and so forth. Okay, here's just a few more plastic bags, which we use for laundry, washing your socks, and garbage and the whatnot, and a few extra earplugs. Okay, I'm going to do the rest of this gear and the clothing next. Next is the Sea to Summit pack cover, always good. And speaking of rain gear, there is a trash compactor bag inside there, and that's where we'll put the clothing and the sleeping bag, obviously. We have the Sea to Summit Aeros pillow in the large, which is very comfortable and has a nice felt-like texture. We have the Outdoor Research sun gloves, which I find really comfortable when you're hiking and gripping the pole. Very nice. Here we have a Montbell puffy. It's called the Ultralight Down Jacket. They don't make them anymore, I don't think. They're only 6.5 ounces, and they have a zipper, and they have pockets, and they're fabulous. Okay, here we have the Sea to Summit head net for when the bugs appear, which I'm sure they will. This is our rain system, and the rain system is basically a 3-part thing. It's a Frog Togs jacket, very lightweight, which I have given an extra waterproofing with a spray waterproofer. We have a no-name rain kilt that I got off of Alibaba Express. I think it's called Alibaba Express. It costs about $9, $10, and it's essentially a rain kilt. Very much, it's lighter than the Frog Tog's pants and gives you more freedom of movement. And the Mountain Laurel Designs rain mitts, which we seam sealed ourselves. Here we have another, this is the just a dry bag for all the clothing. Okay, of course we have toothpaste and half of a toothbrush. As far as clothing, we have here the Ultra Barefoot, the Vivo Ultra Barefoot camp shoes. They're really, really light. They're 7 or 8 ounces. We've used them for years in the Sierra Nevadas, and they're fabulous. You have to have a bandana, of course, because I use it for just a zillion different uses. Basically, that's my towel, whatever. We have a really super lightweight pair of gloves. That'll be when it gets a little cool, and I want to have something that covers my toes, my tips of my fingers. I use those. And I'll swap these out for heavier felt gloves when the weather turns cold in the fall. These are my long johns, which they're a bargain brand, Land's End. I got them on sale from Land's End, really inexpensive, but they're merino wool, and I've had them for years, and they're wonderful. They do the trick. They don't get stinky, and I love them. Here's my socks. I have 3 pairs of socks I'm going to take. We have a Darn Tough, which wonderful hiking socks. These are CEP compression socks, and they're synthetic, and they're from Germany, and I read some stuff about them, and I've worn them a few times now, and they're really comfortable, and I love them. Okay, as far as what I wear as a sock liner or in camp, here's a Fox River super lightweight liner socks. Okay, as far as my rest of my clothing, we have 2 pairs of ex officio briefs. We have 2 undershirts. One's a Nike dry fit, and one's a Patagonia Capoline. Very nice. Love this shirt a lot. They're both great. This is for when I want to take a shower and there's people around, or if I want to go in the pool at a motel if we're staying there. It's a little Speedo. It's very wonderful. Now, as far as what I'm going to wear when I hike, of course, I'll wear a hat, and I'll wear one of my sets of underpants and so forth. And then the hiking pants. Oh, this is a knockoff Buff from China. I have no idea what brand it is. And this is these are essentially Columbia Silver Ridge type pants. They're nylon convertible pants that you can make them into shorts. But these are the Gander Mountain Guide Series pants, which I actually like better because I like the belt better and so forth. And I have 2 pairs of these, and if worst comes to worst and I rip a bunch of them up, I do have a Columbia Silver Ridge pants, which are very good pants too. And then my shirt is the Reef Runner from Ex Officio nylon shirt. That'll be the main shirt. Okay. Here is a homemade cozy. It's I just made it out of that stuff that they put in the windows when it's hot and so forth, and use some duct tape and so forth. So because we're going to be cooking out of freezer bags and a lot of dehydrated food and so forth, so it's always good to have a cozy. So that's our cozy. I made it. We just have a bag here with meds. This has various meds. Advil PM, Tums, and that sort of thing. And I may bring an extra something like bacitracin and stuff like that in there. Here's a compass. Here's a lighter. Here's a cheap pair of sunglasses. I'm not going to take my Ray-Bans because I'll probably just destroy them. This is our bear bag hanging system. It's just some parachute cord and a carabiner. This is the wonderful SteriPen. Okay, I usually use the SteriPen Freedom because I like it and I've used it for years, but because I wanted to use batteries on this trip and not have to carry any kind of, or rely on sunlight or anything at all, I'm using batteries and getting batteries in the towns and in mail drops. So this is the Adventurer model. I really like the SteriPen system because it doesn't make your water taste any different, and it's very fast, and I've had good success with it. Okay, as far as cooking, here's our cooking setup. We have a Toaks titanium 700 ml pot and the Soto Amicus right there. And this is a wonderful stove, fits on top of the fuel canisters and has a piezoelectric, boom, works great. Here we have a Nalgene, it's called a canteen. And this is not going to be actually for water. This is going to be for answering the call of nature in the tent at 1 in the morning, so that I don't have to get up out of my tent, put on my camp shoes, and walk around. I've seen other hikers, other backpackers use this, and they swear by it. There's my glasses, of course, which I'll carry with me in the hard shell case. This is what I'll be carrying the water in when I have to schlep a bunch of water. It's just your basic platypus 1 liter bag right here. And this, in addition to these things, will be enough water for us. My daughter's going to also have a 2.5 or 3 liter capability. And I'm going to zoom back up here. Here we have my camera and a little charging cord which will work for these 2 devices, as well as my battery pack. It's a USB device. This is a Sony RX100. It's probably the MK2. It's a fabulous point and shoot camera, really good, 20 megapixel, excellent lens. I've had good success with this. I am not taking a cell phone. The cell phone is being carried by my daughter. So I figured I'll carry this, and I've had good luck with it. As far as tunes on the trail, I'm taking a clip jam from SanDisk. I put on here a bunch of songs, a couple thousand songs, as well as 3 books. So I have tons and tons of music. I have a thriller, and I put a couple of the George R.R. Martin books on there. Okay, here we just have some Velcro straps, which will be good for tying on various things. This is some duct tape for whenever you need it. This is toilet paper and wipes, which will of course replenish and change out in every trail town. This is a blister kit, which I hope I never have to use. This is a medical kit or a first aid kit with all various kinds of devices in there. Salves and bandages and tape and stuff like that, and tweezers and so forth. There are 2 items here that are not here that I have to mention, and that is, there's a small knife I have. It's a Gerber knife, weighs about 1.5 ounces. That's for slicing salami and summer sausage on the trail. And then there's my small battery pack for recharging my MP3 player. I need something for that, and it's also a backup for my daughter, because my daughter will be carrying an anchor battery pack that'll recharge her cell phone 3 times in case we get into a spot like perhaps the 100-mile wilderness or something like that. I'll have a backup for her in case we really need to charge her phone. Okay, and I'm pointing these out with the Lecky cork lights, which are my trekking poles. So there you have it. That's the setup that I'm carrying on the Appalachian Trail in 2 days. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.